What is up, people? It's Unknown Secret Productions, and today it's time for some Fate Stay Night
Unlimited Blade Works.
And what we're going to be taking a look at today is Figma Saber 2.0. And I don't want to give away my opinion on this Figma already, but long story short, God tier. So the painting and sculpting on this Figma is fantastic. Max Factory or Good Smell Company, whoever owns the Figma brand, did an amazing job sculpting and painting this figure. The sculpt is precise, and the painting is very, very clean. Well, of course, as far as my copy is concerned, the sculptor Shinji Koshinuma did an excellent job of sculpting Saber here. There are, however, some very, very minor paint apps throughout this thing, but nothing to lose your mind about. The face is also very well done too, looks just like how she did in the anime. All the necessary details from the original source material are present on this Figma. Some parts of this Figma are actually made of a more rubbery plastic, such as the ribbon on her braid, the front part of her dress, and these parts on the gauntlets, which does help with the articulation, which we'll get to a little later. So as for accessories, she comes with 3 interchangeable faces: a normal face, a
Raging Battle Cry
face, and an angry blushing face. She also comes with 4 pairs of alternate hands and a 7th, which can all be stored on this included tree. Just pop it off that peg and plug in another one where that peg is. So there's a pair of open hands, relaxed hands, grabby hands, fists, and a pointing hand. You also get this alternate hairpiece, which I guess simulates her hair blowing in the wind, which on the figure it looks really, really good. And you also get her 2 swords, both Caliburn and Excalibur, and each have their own individual sheaths. Let's take a look at Caliburn first. So out of its sheath, here we have Caliburn, and the painting and sculpting on this thing is top notch. I mean, just look at the level of detail for such a small accessory. Look at all that. Just amazing. And the same goes for Excalibur, although this sword does not have as much small detail as Caliburn does, but even though it doesn't have as much detail, it still looks amazing, by the way. And in my opinion, this is actually my preferred sword when displaying Saber. And of course, the classic Figma stand is included, which has a hinge here, hinge here, hinge here, and a swivel here, I guess. And of course, you can plug into her back for some aerial poses, but I'm not gonna do that right now. And this isn't really an accessory, but you do get a spare revolver joint for the wrist in case one breaks. But at this much, I don't really want to see that happening, especially not twice. Now, let's get to the posability. So there is a swivel at the neck, a hinge joint inside of the head, and a ball joint where the head connects to the neck, which allows for a great range of movement here. Also, the braid is on a swivel, ball joint at the shoulder, which can extend to allow for its full range of movement, and the arm can move out about that far. Creaky shoulder swivel, limited elbow swivel, great bend at the elbow, ball joint at the gauntlet, and as I said before, a revolver joint at the wrist. Basically what a revolver joint is, it's like a Rebel Tech joint, minus the ratcheting movement. So there's a swivel at the wrist, a swivel above that, and a hinge joint in the middle. Ball joint at the chest and the waist, which allows for an arching back, and the chest plate is on the hinge joint, which allows for a good ab crunch. And of course, these ball joints can also swivel, but I would not recommend that if the ball joints there are this stupid tight. And all of these armor and skirt pieces down here are all on their own joints. Shifting hips, legs can kick about that far, can't really move back all that much, almost the full splits, thigh swivel, great bend at the knee, ankle guard is on a hinge, the feet can move up, down, pivot, and swivel, and finally, you get a toe bend. Posability on this figure is excellent, although some of the skirt pieces do limit the range of movement for the legs, but apart from that, there is an excellent amount of articulation. Now let's move on to these size comparisons, and Saber here is kinda small. Here's Figma Saber 2.0 compared to Figma Kyoko Sakura, Studio Series Shockwave, NECA Gojira, NPM Barricade, and just for fun, Kingdom Monkey. Now onto the packaging. As far as the box goes, you get your transparent window labeled 227 Figma Action Figure Series Fate Stay Night. On this side you get an image of Saber, Figma Action Figure Series 227. On the other side basically the exact same. On the top, Saber, Figma, Fate. On the bottom, forget about it, it's basically the exact same thing. And on the back you get your product shots and a bunch of Japanese mumbo jumbo that I cannot understand. And so my final thoughts on Figma Saber 2.0. It's awesome. I would definitely recommend this Figma to any Fate Stay Night fan, and if you're willing to pay that much. But still, it's awesome. But seriously, over $100, it's a bit much. Now you can find this Figma on Amazon, eBay, and probably more online stores, but be sure you're getting the real deal for the authentic copy. By the way, I did get the third production run of this figure off Amazon, and for a better price than the first production run. So, that is basically it for my review on the Figma Saber 2.0, and as always, I will see you all in my next video. Peace out!